What I'll tell you will change your life.
226 million views.
1 million people subscribed to me from this video alone. Thanks to TikTok, I've made about $500,000 in the last 6 months. I did all that in those 5-10 minutes a day. I worked in oncology surgery and as an operating room attendant in emergency surgery. And if someone doesn't have a crypto project, he is a newcomer. He's just arrived in Dubai, most likely.
You owe me money.
I'm 15 million rubles in debt. When I was about 13, I sincerely didn't want to live. If I woke up today, it means I'm not dead. And I still have the opportunity to become somebody.
I mean, really?
And then I began to rejoice that I woke up. If I've had a meal, that's great, my best day. There's no toilet or shower in the room. And I believe that when I come back from space...
We went to the psychiatric clinic today.
He's gone completely insane.
This is ANAR. Meet him, guys. I've seen these videos of yours before.
The TikToks.
With money. Wait, what was your face? Yeah, that's the face. We can just stop here. Well, the video where there's a lot of money. I even opened TikTok just now. 226 million views. 226 million. Are there any Russian TikToks at all that have as many views? Any Russian people? Anyone from the CIS?
I can't say, but I have Reels and Instagram. It's definitely the most popular in the CIS. There's 100. They've got crazy statistics. Those are some pretty crazy statistics out there.
110 million, right?
Yes, but it's for Reels.
Will we see it if I do like that? Just so you know what we're talking about.
And the funny thing is that I made this video so fast, I don't know, in 20 seconds, that was it, and I went back to work. Then I posted it, and it was a bombshell.
And show your Instagram. 617,000 paper airplanes or reposts?
Reposts indeed.
617.
1 million people subscribed to me from this video alone.
1 million people on Instagram?
Yes, 1 million people on Instagram signed up from just this one video.
That's crazy. Okay, and you now have on Instagram?
2.1 now.
2.1 million, and on TikTok, 16.3 million. But why am I, in short, interested in this topic in general? I'm very interested in the TikTok topic right now, very much so. In fact, I'm sure that absolutely everyone will become interested in it when we dig deeper into it, because some people think TikTok is not for them. So some people think that TikTok is just some kids that nobody cares about, there's no money in it, there's nothing. And I honestly used to think that way as well. 2 years ago, we started shooting TikToks, but it just didn't work out. I made 100,000 subscribers there, but I was streaming traffic from Instagram. Guys, we're giving away prizes and stuff like that. Anyway, that's why I'm interested in it now. When I figured it out, I traveled to... I'm sorry I don't let you speak, but ANAR will speak now. Anyway, that's why I'm interested in it now, when I figured it out in general. Damn, sorry I don't let you speak. ANAR will be talking now. This podcast subject in general is that I have the right to speak now. Because earlier I did interviews, and in interviews you just listen, but now I can talk. So I'm going to explain what we're going to talk about, so you'll definitely be interested enough to watch to the end. I was in the States, and there I figured out how the world media market works in general now. And that number one in terms of traffic in the world is TikTok. It's the only app that's got organic traffic. That is, you can start posting videos with no money, with nothing at all. You and they will get you 1 million, 1.5, 2 million subscribers. And I've made my TikTok now. My videos have 1 million to 1.5 million views there. Not yet 220. I mean, I wonder how to get there, and most importantly, first of all, I wonder what happens in your life when you have 16 million subscribers on TikTok. I mean, what is your life like then? I know what your story is, we'll talk about that too. But tell me first, you have 16 million subscribers there now. Super popular videos. What does your life look like?
To begin with, let's go back a little. The way you look at a thing is what it becomes to you, to the person. If people look at TikTok and think it's an app where you have to dance and so on, or if they look at TikTok and think it's some kind of nonsense, that's what it is to them. When I hear TikTok, I only hear one thing. TikTok is an app that can make me popular the world over. The only thought I have in my head when I hear the word TikTok. And that's what it has become for me. It's a very important point. All people, whatever they do, they might teach somebody, they might be a dentist. Whoever they are out there, they're all looking for clients. TikTok is an opportunity to find clients for free, just make sure not to dance there. The recommendation feed. These people simply don't really understand that it's a reflection of themselves. Because the recommendation feed is formed for a person, for someone's interests, and people go in, get hooked on what they see there, and think that's all there is. But that's false. There are lots of dentists, lawyers, musicians, and so on. And with some people, the recommendation feed really looks like that. I mean, it is formed individually for the person. So it's a very clever system. And if a person thinks that people only dance at TikTok, then probably that person actually likes dancing a lot.
So he most often puts likes on dancing, so he gets shown dancing.
Or he kept his attention on it.
That is, he watches till the end.
Because of this, TikTok thinks he likes it and it gives it to him all the time. But he caused it himself.
I've got 2 gifts. Look, it was the first time in my life that I went to a mall and I was thinking, man, I want to buy a gift. I never, not in any interview, gave gifts to anyone at all. So I decided to give 2 gifts. Look, one is for you and one for the subscribers. Choose which one's for you and which for the subscribers.
Let both be for subscribers.
No, come on.
Seriously, one for me?
Yeah, one for you.
Well, then the near one.
Open it and I'll open this one for subscribers.
Perhaps I try to guess what's in it.
Go ahead, that's wrong.
There's perfume.
No, not that.
Okay, I'll open it then. Okay, there's a box in the box.
Let's see, a box. Anyway, guys, this is for you. Actually, it's a cool thing. To be honest, I wanted to keep it, but then I thought, okay, whatever.
So what's in here? We can try to guess again.
Unpack it, come on.
It's some kind of bracelet, but it's simply, well, looks like it's a bracelet in there.
Come on, open it.
Okay, there are more opening to do.
It's a bag in the box.
Okay, something like a chain or a bracelet. Seems to be the case.
Anyway, look, this thing will be lying here during the podcast, and at some point I'll show it.
Holy crap, boy, what's in there? Wow. We'll probably show it at the end of the podcast.
Come on, boy.
It's just creepy, you can't show it right away.
Oh, yes.
How the hell did they do that? The thing is, people are surrounded by other people. They try something at TikTok and look at it in their own way. Because a person communicates with them, with these people, they, let's say, stuff his head with the fact that, let's say, there's dancing or it's hard, it doesn't work, something else, and he starts to believe it. Faith is a very powerful thing. Just a little faith can work wonders when it is reinforced by what you want. Try not to listen to what other people think or tell you. A person needs to realize that he is perfect, the shape and way he is. That is, there's everything inside you and there's everything around you. If you look at TikTok, it's really just an app. You have lots of apps on your phone, all kinds of apps. It is very important not to elevate one over the other and not to belittle one compared to the other. Why is TikTok worse than the app you use, or why is it better? It is just what it is, and it gives possibilities. One app or another gives people possibilities. That is, take away all these excessive thoughts that really bother so much. Look at how things really are.
Excessive thoughts. You mean these assessments, that is, people say, oh, TikTok is this or Instagram is that, in short, this or that isn't the right thing, is it that?
Yeah, like something works for somebody.
Oh, yes.
Everything in this world is like as a spectrum of choice, and it's all different and someone needs it. It's not a fact that if a person uses something he thinks it's cool. It's cool for him and cool that he found it for himself. You're watching something and say it's bad. And for another, let's say that's exactly the right thing. Everyone finds their own thing here, something that suits them. So there's no point in saying that it's good or bad or something else. Something suits everybody. For me, TikTok is an app that can make me popular the world over. I use this as an opportunity. I had a pretty complicated life and TikTok changed my life a lot.
Come on, look, let's see what you've got now.
And now how it is now.
Yes, how you live.
Thanks to TikTok, I've made about $500,000 in the last 6 months.
You earned it?
Yes, but in Russia it didn't bring me anything. I mean, it brought me nothing, absolutely nothing. That is, in Russia people were telling me, why are you doing this? Nobody knows you. No one in Russia knew me, that is, with my TikTok. It was an audience that was somewhere else.
How many subscribers did you have there?
Well, it was already about 13 million at that time. And it felt as if nothing, that is, I did not feel it at all. I remember the first time I flew to the Dominican Republic, and it was about 1.5 years ago. And I noticed that people recognized me. I thought that's cool. And then I flew to Dubai for the first time, also about 1 year ago. I wanted to climb on the roof of the Burj Khalifa. Did you see Will Smith climbing? I'll show you the video where he climbed right up the spire. And I have plans to do that too. So far it's in the process. It's very simple. Will Smith himself was there. I'll show you now. If you get up there with an Amazi t-shirt, the whole world will get to know Amazi. It's the tallest tower in the world and he's standing there, just sat down. Yes, it's very cool.
How realistic is it to climb up there?
I know for sure it's realistic.
But not for me yet.
It's not working out yet. It's still in the process. I need to level up.
Yeah, so you flew to Dubai.
I'll tell you, let me finish, yes. So I flew to Dubai and I saw that people started to recognize me here. And here in short, I felt it for the first time simply much more than I did in the Dominican Republic. That's real interesting, and that's when I thought about moving to Dubai. I went back to Russia, continued to work there, and still nobody knew me. And then 8 months ago I moved to Dubai and I just started going to events. I made a lot of acquaintances and so on. And I flew to Singapore recently too, to Formula 1, and people recognized me there. That is, I realized that these people exist, they are real.
Yes, the thing is,
they're not in Russia, they're just in other countries.
Yes, and then you did what?
I felt somehow, better, super...
Okay, wait. So you've made $500,000 in the last 6 months, as I get it. Where are we now? In the office?
In the Velas office. It's the Velas office in Dubai.
Velas is a cryptocurrency company.
It's blockchain.
Blockchain.
Yes, the fastest blockchain in the world.
Yes, I looked at the company.
General partner of Ferrari.
Top 250 cryptocurrencies by capitalization, and yes, they sponsor Formula 1.
Well, in short, Ferrari.
Oh yes, Ferrari. What are you doing in Velas? Why are we here?
We started working a month ago. We negotiated for about 3 months.
Wait, who's that? Is that you?
I've got with Velas, in fact, with Farhad, the CEO.
Like, to get you signed to a brand, or how is it?
No, we got along really well together from the start. It's just that they were very often on flights. It all kind of dragged, but they liked my ideas a lot from the start, and they generally agreed at once. It's that up to the point where everything went from agreement to a real start. That's about 3 months from there.
So they agreed to what? To make you the face of the company?
No, in addition to being an ambassador there and so on, I do marketing. That is, I am very good at marketing. I understand something there. I know how to do it. Let's say I've done 5 billion views in the last year and a half. That is, for me, everything is just an algorithm. I understand how to create viral videos, how to make something popular. That is, anything at all. I can make really anything popular the world over just by using some auxiliary tools.
I make a statement. Yeah, by the way, we'll talk about that later because you gave me a cool idea. I want to spin it. I want to discuss it now, but a little later.
All right.
I mean, in short, you made some money. You are, as it turns out, the company's ambassador.
And a very important point.
Do you do marketing at Velas?
Yes.
How much do they pay you?
I'll tell you roughly. The math there is very complicated. We're still working on it.
Just how much money?
I'll explain it roughly. Just so you understand, Dubai is super saturated with crypto projects, some kind of fierce concentration. I had only heard the word crypto before. Well, I simply heard vaguely that people are doing something there. I realized how tough it was when I came to Dubai. When I met a lot of different people here, saw how they live, what they do, listened to their stories, I realized one thing. You know, people used to pay in gold and silver, in real gold and silver, and they didn't believe that paper money would appear. But some time had passed, and there was paper. People started paying with paper. Gold and silver disappeared, in the form in which they paid with it. Started using paper and didn't believe that there will be banking. Banking came along, started using paper a bit less, began doing everything online. And now it's about the same story. Cryptocurrency came along. Because people don't understand what it is, they are cautious, so to speak. And I was the same way, that is, because I did not understand. There was no one who could explain it to me properly. I somehow did not try to understand it. And here it's impossible not to understand it. In Dubai, if someone doesn't have a crypto project, it's a newcomer. Just arrived in Dubai, most likely. It seems so.
Raise your hand who's got a crypto project. It's the entire audience.
And so I began communicating with them and immersed myself in it more. And then, in short, a lot of crypto projects offered me to join them, but I didn't join any of them. For me, in short, in general, what I live for, my whole life will be devoted to somehow helping, so to speak, humanity and people. That is, my main goal is to pass on my knowledge to 100 million people. And it's super important for me not to hurt anyone, very important for me. And because of this, a lot of projects made offers to me. I was afraid I didn't get into any of them. Also, Carl the Moon made an offer, very interesting projects. That is, they are pretty famous people in the world of crypto. The only one I agreed with was Velas, simply because they are the general sponsor of Ferrari. Let me explain. Ferrari has a history and it's much bigger than mine. That is, there is a brand story, a power of some kind and so on. And they have compliance. Compliance is like a security service, which is probably a lot bigger than mine. I don't have one. No security service.
It's more than nothing.
God protects me, that's all.
God is in the security service.
Yes, for me, God is the security service. Everything happens by His will in my life. And so I somehow looked at it all here and realized that Ferrari took a risk here. I, on the whole, am also ready. I'm ready too. And it's an example to me. I saw something in it. So what was the question?
How much money?
Money. Look, we started a month ago. We reached agreement before the new year. Well, it's around 300,000.
$300,000?
300.
300,000, yes?
$300,000.
Is that in 3 months?
That's in 3 months, yes. But that's not the main thing. It's, so to speak, so that in this time I can build the idea that I proposed. Because they're also willing to sponsor my album Earth or Space, and there we're talking about over $10 million.
Hey, hold on. You get paid $300,000 for what?
For me being able to freely and calmly direct my focus to building that idea that's in my mind.
A marketing idea for Velas?
For Velas, yes.
Yeah, so they invested in you, so to say.
They invested in themselves.
But in themselves, sort of, yes.
If this idea works, and I have great faith that it will.
Okay, come on then. Tell me the idea.
We're talking about maybe, I don't know, tens of millions of dollars there.
Tell me what the idea is.
Okay, why not? A lot of people ask me how to shoot TikToks and things like that. And my experience prior to that, I'll go a bit further into the past. I helped Hussein Hassanov before that. You know, when he had about 15 million subscribers, I showed up, so to speak. And we worked for about 2 years. I would say that I did myself 80% of his TikTok. That is, practically from scratch.
That is, he had Instagram, but not much of a TikTok.
He practically had no TikTok at all. He had a super small amount of about 300,000. And so I picked up on it.
Yeah, and he got in touch with you?
No, you know how it was. I wouldn't say he got in touch with me. I lived at a friend's house, Dinat, and helped to develop it, yes.
You lived with him?
I lived in his house, that is, I had a period like that there.
All right.
Okay, I'll go still further back.
Come on.
Look, I was born in Ustylimsk in Siberia. At the age of 4, we moved.
How old are you now?
I'm 27 now. I just turned 27 on September the 20th. I was born in Ustylimsk in Siberia. It's cold there. Then when I was about 5, we moved to Tolyatti. That's where they make the Lada car branding. And do you know how I grew up in Tolyatti? I'll tell you a story. It influenced me a lot. Every morning, my father was a very strict man, just a super strict man. And you know, I woke up every morning since I was 7 years old. And God forbid if his shoes were unwashed. He woke up and if his shoes were unwashed, he scolded me a lot. I can't tell you how badly, but it was a lot. When I was 9 years old, he taught me how to tie a necktie. You know how it was? He tied a tie and said, repeat it. I took it, tried to tie it. I couldn't do it. He scolded me a lot and then he took the tie, tied it again and said, repeat it. And that's how in 40 minutes with tears I learned how to tie a tie. At 10 I was already typing his reports. He could come at any time of the day or night and say, type the report. I typed them and God forbid if I made a mistake there. And then around the age of 13 I sincerely did not want to live, I mean it. But love to my mom was something, super opposite. It was just like fire and water. Incredible love, just some kind of endless and gratuitous love. That's what kept me, that is at the time in general here. And I always did it all for the sake of helping my mom at least somehow, to meet her expectations and so on. Because, I understood, I really thought so, that whoever I would become, it wouldn't surprise my father in any way because nothing could surprise him. That is, he was raising a specific Mowgli who, I don't know, could be sent anywhere, thrown out, and he would survive there and still tame everything around him. Maybe he could have used other methods.
Why didn't you want to live when you were 13?
Because it was hard. Imagine there was a person at home and I realized that I came home. I couldn't do something that I wanted to do. It was impossible. So you only do what he thinks is right to do. That is, you can't just freely watch a movie because it's idleness, and you have to do something, develop yourself, and so on. And it wasn't easy for me to be in that mode, so to speak. I didn't like school much, but it was a little better, let's say so. After school, I didn't even go straight home. I played soccer in the yard, still in my suit and so on, because if I went home, there was no guarantee I'd come out of there. Because not that I would be, no.
Sounds really tough, really, but yes, I get it, yeah.
You got it, yes. In a sense, I would be given some tasks there,
Yes, given things to do. Exactly, okay.
And in short, it got to the point where at 15 I realized that that was it. I got to go to work, I don't know, do something so that I could support myself and be somehow able to move on, and so that he could see that I was earning my own money. I was the only person in Toliati who at 15 years old was working in oncology, in surgery, as a surgical attendant in emergency surgery. I'll show you the pictures now. That is from 15 to 18 for 3 years.
You worked in oncology?
Yes, I worked in oncology in emergency surgery as an operating room attendant. Here what I looked like that. I'm in blue, yes. And I mean, yes, I've seen, thousands of surgeries. I've seen people of very different nationalities in very different conditions. My level of empathy was so developed that I would walk into a room, into a ward, and I would just take one look at a person and know what condition they were in. Then I went to medical university in Ulyanovsk. I left it after 6 months because it didn't make me happy. I came back to Toliati, got a job at a bank, usually just standing by the ATM, helping people top up their cards, do something with it, whatever they wanted, and worked there for 4 months. I remember that night I was sitting right there about 3 or 4 in the morning, and I realized that this was not what I was dreaming about. And I've been dreaming for a super long time. I mean, I've had dreams and dreams and dreams all the time since I was a kid. I've been dreaming a lot since I was a kid. And I sat there and realized that I made $300 a month or so. By the way, I earned 6,000 rubles a month in oncology. That is, I was paid $100 a month there, and it's a super hard job. So you have to get there by 8 o'clock and prepare the operating room. Then you're there all day. Lots of surgeries are taking place. Then you have to wash all these instruments after surgery. And then you have to clean the entire operating room itself. And it wasn't easy, but it was a very cool experience. Then I sat down and realized that this was not what I dreamt about. I got to go to Moscow. And so I decided that's it, I'm moving to Moscow. The next morning I came home and told my parents, I'm going to Moscow. I'm going to work there. I'm going to develop there. And my father says to me, if you go to Moscow, you're no longer my son. And for the next year and a half, he didn't communicate with me. I mean, I left for Moscow a day later, and for the next year and a half, can you imagine, I don't know, I write happy birthday and so on, and you just don't get an answer, it's like you don't exist. I went to Moscow all alone. I sold my sister's baby stroller for $200. She just wasn't using it anymore, she had grown up. I took a blah car for $15 and went to Moscow. In Moscow, I got a job at Alpha Bank, where I worked very well. I became one of the best employees. I rose to the position of VIP manager. I saw the entire FIFA World Cup that was in Russia. I was accredited for it from Alpha Bank. Alpha Bank was a sponsor. And then I was doing so well that I decided that that was it, I could do business. And no matter where I worked, no matter what I did, or rather no matter where I worked, I always came home and made music, tried to edit something. I always studied it. I mean, I took the subway every morning about an hour or so with the thought that I was doing it so that I would never do it again. And at some point that was it, I was able to quit my job and start kind of a music label of my own. And I decided to make a music label, to produce other artists, because at that time I didn't think I could sing properly yet, to produce and develop myself. So I started developing others, and found investments, started developing unknown artists. To make a long story short, 2 years go by, I am $200,000 debt. I live in a small room with the artists, a lot of pressure on me every day. Can you imagine a kid who was earning 20,000 rubles, moved to Moscow, and then started earning 100 or 150. And then, roughly speaking, it got to the point where you're $200,000 in debt and you're under daily pressure. Lots of people call you and threaten you with all sorts of things.
And where did the 200,000 debt come from?
It just accumulated, that is, in the music market. Do you know how much, let's say, a track on Target costs? You know, because I didn't have the experience, I spent $4,000 to $6,000 per track targeting.
You took money from some folks?
From a wide variety of people. One of them sitting right there. I took the biggest amount from him, $70,000. But it turned out great for him. At first it was utterly bad for some time.
So you, in short, took money, paid the cost, paid them something, and spent that money to produce artists, to make them popular? Writing tracks for them, making some music videos, something like that, right?
That's right.
Who are those artists?
I also had a very bad trait, by the way. It wasn't the main one. I had a whole bunch of bad traits. And the main point of this story is that I had a trait, one of the traits. Already back in Toliadi, I was into betting. I used to make bets on sports, really. I never advertised them, but I bet a lot myself. I bet a lot myself, and I managed to win a couple of times, so to speak. And so this silly thing is stuck in your subconscious that you can win. That kind of easy money. And I did that. I'd say I was ill. For 8 years straight I was in betting. It was betting that ruined me very badly. And in short, when I got to the peak, I called the peak that day when I had no toilet or shower in my room, lots of threats, got to pay back a pile of money. I still have to somehow achieve something. Because, there was a point when no one would give you even a $10. And you sit there and you realize that no, you can't do all of it. It can't end up like that. All of them are right and you failed. In short, it came down to just two things for me. If I woke up today, it means I'm not dead and I still have a chance to become somebody. And then I realized that the earth is the same for all people. But people live on it very differently. It has to do with what goes on inside them. And then I asked myself what kind of person I was that my life was like that. I stopped blaming somebody, stopped being angry at somebody and offended. I realized that I needed to change myself from the inside, and I started to devote a lot of time. If you want something to change in the outside world, something has to change inside you, in fact. And that's the most important thing. Whatever you want in your life, do it within yourself. I just started to create an absolutely new person. I just started to erase him and create another person. That is, for me, it became extremely important to tell only the truth. It's a super important thing to tell only the truth. It's so easy. You don't have to keep anything in your head. What could be easier? You don't have to remember anything. You just tell the truth, that's all. And the emptier your head is, the easier it is for you, because every new day is really a new day for you. People simply take their new day for granted, but in one of those moments and days, the next one won't come. And people don't quite realize it. That is, if I woke up today, that's enough to make me happy. Just the fact itself that I woke up today. I know that hundreds of thousands of people in the world have not woken up today, whereas I was given this opportunity. Isn't that not enough for you to be happy, fundamentally? After all, if a person realizes that by his nature he only has desires and he has an infinite number of desires, this will not make him happy. Being happy is simply a choice. I taught myself to be happy, loving, grateful and calm every day. This is what I should be and how I should work and interact with others.
Look, that's very interesting because, in short, people are like that now, it seems to me, and am I like that? Something was happening for some time, something didn't work out. Then bang, in short, and you're like, I understood everything. Like, I'm grateful and all that. Let's put it this way. Please recollect this day when it happened. How was it?
When total collapse happened, or when what?
Yes, when it's a total collapse.
I want to show you a video.
Come on.
A legendary video, so look. March 16th, 2020, this is total collapse. I didn't have any subscribers back then, I had none of that. Everything I've got is a $200,000 debt and this room where I live. All the artists from my room, they just wrote me a note and left, they just screwed me.
What do you mean on that day? I see, yeah, show me.
Yes, I came to the office, or home I'd say at that point, and there, look. In the office of the music label where we lived. And that's roughly what a collapse looks like. We wrote tracks here, we lived here. We slept on the same couch with them. In the last few days, artists lived here. We ate only cheap noodles, lots of big boxes and water. That's the reason. Oh no, there's more. I thought we'd run out of noodles, look. We smoke hookah, slept. They wrote me a note and left saying that's it, they couldn't live like that anymore. What do you think? Is this the end or is this a new beginning?
It doesn't look too miserable there.
But lots of people, when they found out later what was happening, I tried as much as possible not to show people that there was that kind of action happening in my life. That is, only those who were affected by it knew about it. Those who weren't affected, with them I tried as much as possible to act in a way that they wouldn't even know. Why pass it on and distribute it?
And how do you communicate with them now, with those artists?
I communicate perfectly well with everyone, just with everyone, absolutely with everyone.
What are the artists? If someone is popular, who could we recognize?
They weren't popular, that is, they were unknown artists. It was after I got this experience already using it that I began to further help to develop Hussein and Vovan from the real guys. Very cool, we did a lot with him.
So wait, let's talk about that moment, that day. So okay, they all left.
Yes, and then
15 million in debt, you live in this room.
I live in this room, and then coronavirus. To cut it short, what happens to me is that everything closes down. I used to go to the bathroom and shower in the building next door. There was a zebra gym 5 minutes away, and it closes. That is, I have nowhere to go to the bathroom and shower. And so you do what?
An apartment without a toilet and a shower, what is it?
It's not an apartment, it's an office. It's an office room, I just live there.
Yeah, I am with you.
It only costs 13,000 a month, I remember that. Coronavirus sets in and everything shuts down among other things.
I just already imagined that moment. You're 15 million in debt, the chaps moved out. You live there, no shower, the coronavirus sets in. It's like where to go from here. You're like, what? What else? Really?
That's when I began to be glad I was awake. That's when I learned to be thankful that I was awake. That's when I began to be glad I was awake. That's when I learned to be thankful that I was awake. Thanks, at least you woke up today. If you had a meal, that's great, your best day ever.
That's a real bummer, so come on, I wonder what's next. It's really some sort of rough scenario in general.
Yes, and then that's it. I got nowhere to go to the toilet and shower. And then all the pieces come together. I have a friend, Dinat, whom I've known since Toliati. He was 13 at the time, I was 16, we are both from Toliati. He was selling phone cases and stuff back then. And he moved to Moscow at that time and tried to start doing music somehow. Some people were helping him. And I met him and I told him, look, that's not the way to do it. I mean, I already had so much experience, I was already a salted professional. I said something was being done wrong, and here I said he was cheated, very obviously cheated. And he didn't believe me. He didn't believe me because of maybe, I don't know, some ego or something else. He didn't believe me, he thought he could do it.
You mean Dinat Gumarov?
Yes, Dinat Gumarov.
It's the Chanel Nell Nell girl, that's the song?
Yeah, and somehow it happened that on that day he called me up and said, listen, I've got a track coming out today.
On this particular day?
When I didn't even have a place to go to the toilet anymore, it was so coincidental. I mean, he called me up and said, listen, I have a track coming out today, come to my place, I rented a house there. Come to my place and help me please with the track. And he kind of acknowledged that I was right on different points about those guys there who were helping him before. I helped him with that track that night, with release and so forth. It was already put together, someone had done everything before me in terms of the song itself and everything. I helped him purely with the release, with the PR, to oversee everything that he did. And when we were done with all that, we sat down in the evening already after the release.
What track was released?
I don't remember its title. He also made a video for it.
It wasn't a super popular track, was it?
No, that track wasn't popular at all.
It's exactly your thing to make unpopular people unpopular.
And about 1 a.m, we were sitting there and he said, listen, stay with me. I have a big house. He told me that himself. Stay with me. Help me develop with this in my art. I didn't even go back to the office. Just so you understand, the military card, whatever I had in that office, everything remained there. Absolutely everything. I had some laptop there, some of my things.
I mean, you didn't even pick them up?
I didn't even go back there.
But why?
That's how much I hated that place. Just so you know, I was really told.
And you just had a stinking bucket with shit in the corner? You said no toilet?
No, I went to the toilet in McDonald's.
Really? You went to McDonald's?
What else could I do?
Yeah, and seriously, all your stuff remained there. Your laptop, your clothes.
Yes, it all remained there. I didn't pick anything up.
Like, you came there in those clothes?
I came there just with the clothes I had on.
A real bummer.
And by the way, I was told that this particular building where I lived, it burned down. And they said to the ground.
The next day, perhaps?
No, it burned down after a year. I found out about that myself about a year ago.
No one was hurt there?
I know nothing at all. I don't even know if it really burned down or not. I mean, I was told so, that it burned down on the Golden Ring, this building where I lived. An acquaintance of mine who works in that area said that the building burned down, but that's okay. And I started, in short, to help him. That is, I created TikTok for him, began to understand it, shoot videos for him, edit them, and it began to gain momentum. And Hussein came to us all the time. Every week he came to us, to Dinat. And he liked it when he saw me helping him with TikTok and so forth. And then I told him, look, let me make a video for you. I made him a reel. That reel got very popular. Then some more, and it got to the stage that I started developing his TikTok.
Where did you get the knowledge from? You didn't have your own TikTok at the time, right?
No, I had one, but it wasn't popular at all. I was just trying to do something there somehow.
Where did you get, the knowledge, how to post what, how to edit it?
My father taught me everything. By the way, my father and I reconciled after a year and a half. We have a super great relationship with both my father and my mother now. I ended up bringing them to Moscow. Everything is super ideal. Everything is super perfect. I'm super grateful to him for making me into what he made me. That's exactly what made a lot of things work out for me. Yeah, everything is great there.
Where did you get the knowledge of how to make a TikTok so that Hussein's would skyrocket?
By myself. I learned everything by myself. I learned to sing by myself.
You took some courses?
No, I didn't have the opportunity. The only course, by the way, that I bought was from Hussein Hassanov. Also a hilarious story.
Yeah, that course.
Yes, Hussein's course.
Just now?
No, I had just moved from Tolyatti to Moscow then. He had some kind of blogging course.
Oh, really?
I bought that course. By the way, you know what? I'm going to show you a thing that's just crazy. Hussein probably doesn't even remember that. I couldn't even imagine having that on my phone, but it's just crazy.
It's just Hussein with his cock.
No, really, look, this is the 2018, the 18th of August. I finished his course. And we recorded such a video, it's really crazy. That is, a guy has around 16 million subscribers at the time, 15, maybe a bit less, but somewhere between 13 and 15. And I've got nothing. Took a blogger course. Our first encounter. And I said, I'm gonna drop bombshells on Instagram and become famous there. I said, I'll catch up with you, I promise you. What are the odds of that happening? I haven't caught up yet, but I'm on my way.
On TikTok, you've caught up.
I overtook him on TikTok, yes, but I won it all. I'm still on my way. On my way, but halfway through.
Anyway, you made Hussein's TikTok, you started managing it.
Yes, then regarding different aspects, very different directions. Regarding everything in the end. I helped with different projects, did a lot of things.
Yeah, okay, everything was not bad in general. You moved to Dubai, but let's go back.
And in parallel, as it turned out, I helped Dinat and Hussein, and Vovan was already there too. That was also a very cool encounter, a cool story with Vovan.
You're strictly after the boys. Okay, forget it. What happened there?
Yes, and I in short was on my way to a meeting with an investor.
Is this before that?
That was the period when all the action was going on. I just moved to Dinat, and that's where I was on my way to a meeting with an investor. I was thinking maybe I'll still somehow do something, I'll think of something. And that man took Vovan with him to the meeting. Vovan said some producer would be there. You'll listen to it. Because Vovan had been doing music for about 10 years at that time. And he came to me and showed how many tracks he had there. I listened to a track and said, that's a hit. And he was like, but they told me it's so-so. I said, no, it's definitely a hit. He said to me, let's release it and see how it performs. I said, let's do that. And we released it. I helped him release that song. It was the first song that made it to the top chart. He was super happy. And from that moment, we started working together. And then every next track was already in the top charts. And we rose very quickly. There were a lot of concerts.
And thanks to what? What was so special?
I knew how to promote music. I knew how to promote it through TikTok. That is to run challenges. Not the crown, bro.
I shot that one, remember? Hey, not the crown, bro. Definitely not the crown, bro. Yes, this one here.
All that promotion mechanics, how to make something viral and so on, basically. We're up and running.
Right.
And, you know, he just wanted to postpone things a little bit. Come on, let's post it now. Let's do it. It's just that I don't bother at all before I post something out there. I mean, you know, I got the idea, shot it at once and posted it. I mean, I'm pretty independent of anyone's opinion and I don't have that predicament. I've seen a lot of bloggers have this kind of predicament. They get really stressed to post or not to post it or something else. I don't care at all. I'm just posting it out there. It's either a hit or it isn't. Became popular. Super. Leave it there as how to determine. You just have to do it and see what happens. And the same thing, we shot something, posted it, and it was a bombshell. In literally 30 minutes, there were already almost 700,000 views. People began filming. He drove to the comedy club, I think, at the time. And he told me I became popular again in that half hour that I drove to the comedy club. So many people called me. It was a very cool time. Vovan is a very cool man, a super sincere man.
I'm wondering, the most important thing here is what will be useful to people. You've got great experience. What happened inside you at that moment? So it's clear what happened as such. Those people left, Dinat called you, and miraculously he called on that day. You moved in with him, you made music there, then Hussein, then Vovan. Then in short, it turned out you have a lot of some artists, and then let's move on.
Not a lot, on the contrary, then I focused only on Vovan. After a year I focused, fully focused. I only work with Vovan.
Okay, it was Vovan. In general, everything at this time was already okay, right? Well, more or less.
Yes, everything was already getting into shape. That is, I had already rented my own place, that is 6 months after I moved in.
What about these things you're talking about now?
We had an office there. I ended up renting about 7 apartments. I ended up bringing to Moscow a bunch of guys from different cities. I had a big team there. We built a music studio. We had 2 music studios, a huge office.
Was this specifically for Vovan?
Yes, Vovan and I were doing great things. We've done so much. I invested everything I earned, invested everything, put everything in. We just set everything up. It's very cool there. We set everything up. It was just interrupted a bit.
Why is that?
On the 24th of February, the events we all know began.
And your TikToks ran in parallel?
In parallel, I set aside 5 to 10 minutes a day for myself. And I did all that in those 5 to 10 minutes a day.
Seriously?
Oh, yes.
So you were working with Vovan and shooting TikToks at the same time?
Yes.
And how many did you get like that in parallel in that state of uplifting?
Yeah, I did that without leaving my room.
How many then?
Without leaving my room, it was 13 million at the time.
13 million followers, that's for what period?
It's for a year, look, I'll tell you. But there is a very important point here. I'll explain to you how to do it in general. And in general, what affects it. I was pretty good at meditation by then. And I'll show you right now simply by examples if you will believe it. And so this one thing I'm about to tell you, it can create anything in your life. And in my life, that's exactly how it appears. And so the people who know me, they've seen that I can say something, it sounds fantastic, but it somehow gets there in the end. I'll show you, look, it's ANAR DREAMS store. I'm the only one who sees it and no one else can see it. That's why I'm showing you now, so you can see, because it's a closed page. This is my store of dreams. I made it on Instagram.
Is this your Instagram of dreams?
Yes, I mean all my dreams are here, the things I dream about.
What is it called?
ANAR DREAMS store.
Alright.
Yes, but you can't see it.
Yes, I understand. It's a tick there.
No, this one. Look here, I posted a picture. You see, October 23rd, 2020, I have 1 million followers and a tick on Instagram by the end of 2020. That is, by the new year, roughly speaking. And on the same day, I post another picture in Photoshop. I have 2 million subscribers on TikTok. I only had 5,000 on Instagram at the time, and I had 25,000 on TikTok. Further, by this point, I had already spinned Vovan's TikTok, Hussein's TikTok. That is, I was already confident that I could do it. I mean, I just believed that now I could. And that's the key thing, to believe in yourself next.
Funny, anyway, it's just a lot of different posts here. It's just a closed Instagram account, and it says ANAR DREAMS, the most popular man on the planet, a billionaire, a genius with a big...
What with big? Read on.
A genius with a big heart. For some reason it says big twice.
Maybe I made a mistake, or maybe not.
With big.
With a very big one.
And with a big heart. Here it is, in short, here it is, the dream.
Well, it's the short version. I've already lengthened this version a lot. I showed it to Sergey.
In short, it's just a list of posts here. The first post was on the 23rd of October 2020. I'll simply tell you because, it's kind of very clear to you. Whereas it's the first time I ever see that. Seriously, I've never seen that. The only thing I specifically did, I had that wish board. By the way, I removed them for some reason from the phone and left surfing only. I had many different purposes. And I'm not really surfing, I'm just standing on the beach with a board. And here, yes, I had the same one, just my 6 goals put together. There's a lot of money here. Well, in short, it's clear. That is a lot of posts that only you can see.
Yes, look, I made myself the first 2 pictures in Photoshop that I have 1 million followers on Instagram and 2 million on TikTok. And I focused on that thought as if it had happened to me, as if it had come along. I worked very hard on it internally. And then the idea of money occurred to me. Like the dollar, it's so popular, it's the most popular thing on the planet. I was like, I'm gonna shoot with a dollar, I must try it. I shot, I believe, the first video.
You had a collaboration with the dollar?
Well, sort of, I mean, I used its popularity. Next, I remember I shot the first video.
I mean, at that point you had, I'm sorry, but I'm just wondering, I'm just in exactly the same stage right now where you were then in exactly TikTok. I mean, I have, 9,000 subscribers on TikTok right now? 9,000, and I started it like 20 days ago only. But it's an international audience, there's a local Dubai SIM card, and we in short stream content there. And I'm very curious to know, how many subscribers did you have at that point?
25,000.
25,000, super, very fitting, okay. And you were just shooting something situationally and 25,000 piled somehow up, right?
Yes, I did a lot of testing, not just situationally, I really tested all the time. I kept looking, I knew I had to find something that will break through. I searched for this and then I realized I found that dollar topic. I remember that, my first video, and it got like 1 million views in 24 hours. It was my first, I think, 1 million hits in 24 hours, maybe not the first, already the second. But the point is, it got 1 million hits in 24 hours and 70,000 people subscribed to me.
70,000?
Yes, I was like interesting and started shooting videos again.
And at that moment, did anyone make such videos? Did they exist at all?
Here's my friend, he came to my house and started making these videos too. That is, we are the first, no one else in the world was doing that.
You haven't seen that anywhere? You just came up with it yourself?
Yes, absolutely, it all came to me.
I mean, what did you do? You printed it?
No, I just found a place that sold those joke bank bills. Why print? I didn't print anything, it cost super cheap. That is, to get these 13 million, I spent about $7,000. Where else have you seen 13 million followers for $7,000?
You found, in short, you bought these joke bank bills?
Yes, I bought joke banks.
A huge number. How many were there?
I bought them gradually. I didn't buy this whole bunch all at once. I first bought for only $70, that is not much, and started shooting with it. Something worked out. Then I bought a little more. And so in almost a year I had accumulated a whole pile of money. That is, I was buying them gradually whenever an occasion came up.
That's a lot of fake money, those bills.
Yes, and I was visualizing, I was looking at them, and I clearly understand that they were going to be real. That is, I basically turned what people call counterfeit money. I turned that counterfeit money into real money. And I've always understood that no matter what people write to me, hundreds of thousands of comments of all kinds, millions of comments of all kinds, here they are. I understand that people just don't realize. They don't even realize, they don't understand what I'm doing now and how it's turning out and so on, but that's okay.
Wait, what do you mean they don't understand?
Well, they write their fakes, fake money and so on. They don't realize that I'm shooting this on purpose for them to write it. I mean, I do it because I realize that it will divide people into 2 categories. Some will ask, are they real? Others will say that they are fake. so it raises a lot of questions. The challenge is to create videos that act as a super trigger. And by the way, my friend Boris helped me a lot in this. You know what he did? In short, he threw a wad of money out of the window. That is, I hadn't thrown a wad out of the window before, and he took that wad and threw it out of the window. He got, I think, 10 million views on that video in about 24 hours. Not even in 24 hours, but in under 10 hours, in short. The likes were accumulating there somehow at a tremendous speed, in short. I was looking at that thinking, wow. So I shoot the same video just like that, exactly like that, without changing anything. Just the same, simply the window next to it. And this video becomes a bombshell. It happened so that this video from Boris reached exactly 10 or 11 million. And my video somehow shot up. In short, there were about 40 million. In 4 days, I had 1 million subscribers. A month later, I had 3 million. So there was just a huge explosion there.
I mean, in short, the idea is that there are things that trigger people in a big way?
Yes, I mean, the point is, the first thing, the very first thing, believe in the fact that I can. You see, all those people who have something or who are something, first of all, they believe in I can go to Mars or go somewhere else, do something or be something. That is, first of all, you have to allow yourself to become something inside yourself. Everything comes from that. First, you have to allow yourself to dream about something, allow yourself to become it. And then the sooner you become that within yourself, believe that things will come, ideas will come to you, opportunity will come, people will come, things will happen, whatever it is. Don't be sublime that it's for others and it's not for you, it's all for you. The second is a strong association. That is to say, the next very important thing in TikTok is strong association. That is, if you already got everything into shape with the first, you believe that you can. Now look for a strong association. All the people who are super popular the whole world over, you can just trace it. I specifically observed it. I was followed for a while, only people who had 100 million plus. And I just watched them and saw that many of them had their thing. Nusret has this thing, Kabi Lame has that thing. Cristiano Ronaldo, he has both his own gesture and the way he generally takes care of himself, so to say. How he tends to himself, a bunch of factors. And all of this forms a bunch of associations. That is, energy is important. The most important thing is energy, how energetically you do what you think about. If you're thinking like, I'm not pretty, it won't be a hit, that's exactly what's going to happen. Believe that you are beautiful, that's it. Fall in love with yourself right now. Whoever you are out there, whatever you look like, you are perfect and unique. Never again will there be people like that. So just erase all this fuss, decide what you want. You see, I have over 150 million people subscribed to me on TikTok. Because people talk to me all the time, they fill my head with their thoughts. I fill my own head with all kinds of information that I see, all kinds of billboards, advertisements, and so on. And so every hour, absolutely every hour, I get a notification of who I am and where I'm going, so I don't forget that. I have the largest community in the world. I have a healthy body and spirit. Earth or Space, the most popular music album. I figured out how to make the most popular music album in the world. Also a very cool topic, I'll tell you about that. I'm on the cover of Forbes magazine. I have more than 100 million followers on Instagram. I got a golden visa to the UAE, helping the universe, love to God and gratitude. I'm a dollar billionaire, meditate, be aware. More than 150 million people are subscribed to me on TikTok. Look, it all comes to me every hour. I mean, I just keep thinking, and the more I think, everything turns up, people turn up, opportunities turn up, TikToks become popular.
Yes, a question. So, okay, hold on. You said the first one is the instruction. The instruction is to believe like the power of faith.
Do psychological work on yourself to believe, to erase all these energies.
What did you do to achieve that, to make you believe? Because you'll say here, well, that's clear, I got the belief now, why it didn't happen.
At some point realized that I had this connection set up to that extent, that strongly, to cut it short. At some point I was sitting there and I was like, I want a collaboration with Kabi Lame, the most popular TikToker in the world. And I was like, how do I get in touch with him? And I realized it occurred to me, just repeat what he's doing. I shot two videos, one after the other. I believed so much that it would work. Please understand, these two videos got 110 million and 80 million views, one after the other. They could get 1 million views, 2 million views, they might not get popular. They rack up 200 million views in a week for both of them. A week later, he posts a collaboration with me. I didn't even contact him, I just wanted it, you know?
What do you mean he posted a collaboration with you? Like what, he split the screen in two?
Yes, he posted his answer to my video on his TikTok. That is, I posted this video, tagged it, almost 100,000 comments, and I posted the same second video. Let me find it, here now, 2 videos in a row, just posted them with about half an hour interval. And they just went viral. And a week later, he posted a response. That's how I got the collaboration.
And when you tag someone in TikTok, they have what?
It's not about the tag. In TikTok, the tag doesn't give much to anyone.
I mean, yes, he doesn't see that you tagged him there. He doesn't get anything.
I think a notification comes, but he is unlikely to see it.
Yes, he'll hardly see it, of course.
And here's the second video I wrote there. With Kabi Lame, 71 million, and there are 42,000 comments. Here are those 2 videos in a row. The one I showed and this one, 71 million and 110 million on these 2 videos only. And that's it. A week later, he posts a video with me. And thus, no matter what anyone says, just believe in the fact that I'm the one who can. That's it. Just believe first and then focus. How can I do it? And an idea will come to your mind. Direct your focus to the thought. And just be open, and an idea will really pop up in your head. And whether you can hear it or not depends on how open you are.
You sound very confident right now. But when you were working with the artists who left you, you probably didn't do it then. At what point did the change occur?
It all started to happen after the fact. I mean, the peak amount of problems.
I see.
When I had to deal with that, I was looking for answers a lot. And then I started meditating.
Why you decided then that you need to meditate? Just wondering.
I did a lot of research on YouTube. I was looking for answers a lot, and I came across Sadhguru. I started listening to Sadhguru a lot. I could relate to his thoughts very well. I learned a lot from him, and I learned about meditation from him. I meditate a lot. I can just sit for a couple of hours. At some point...
Without any music, just in silence?
Yes, of course. Not that this is the way to do it, but I think it is. It made it easier for me. At some point,
So you're meditating every day now?
I try very hard to meditate every day. Yes, I try very hard.
Did it happen to you at that moment when things got tough and you started looking...
Yes, it was so tough.
Looking for answers, saw Sadhguru, listened to him. Because I listened to all of Sadhguru's videos, I heard all of them. And I always listen to him. It's great to fall asleep while listening to him. I listen and set a timer.
And by the way, I had a similar story with Sadhguru as with Kabileme. I imagined that we would get to know each other and talk, and that's exactly what happened. I was in Dubai and his team texted me saying Sadhguru would be in Dubai.
His team texted you?
Yeah, his team texted me.
But why?
Because they wanted to take me on as an ambassador for Safe Soil. And I told them I can do even more. I can come up with a whole challenge for you that involves me.
An ambassador.
Sadhguru visited 50-something countries promoting something. Safe Soil, there is a big soil problem. And they told me about it and invited me to the Sadhguru event. And there I saw him, we met each other, and he even invited me to India. And I really want to fly to Sadhguru soon.
What are your impressions of meeting Sadhguru?
It was amazing. I'm very grateful to him because partially it was him who influenced me to redirect my focus of attention. And thanks to him I meditate, and meditation for me is like believing in God. That's the most important thing. In other words, I realized that if I wake up today, I truly understand that I'm not the one spinning this planet. I'm aware of it. It has been functioning for a very long time, and I'm a nobody here. By the way, I also learned how to be a nobody. Only being nobody, I can be anyone. Don't make yourself as small as you make yourself. Develop your potential, which is incredible.
Okay, let's go back to TikTok. I still have to figure out what to do. So, the faith is kind of there now.
You need an association.
Now I'm going to do this again. I'll write that I have 10 million on TikTok. By the way, I should probably write more, maybe 100.
You have to write as much as you can believe in.
Oh, yes.
That is very important. You can write any number you want. If you can believe in it, it will really happen for you. Put what you can believe in. By the way, a lot of people have noticed they do that with their salary. They do that with their income. That is, they state a specific amount. And it somehow really manifests in their lives. They set a higher amount and it materializes and so on. They can set even higher goals if they can believe in them as well. The question is, what do they believe in? So you just create a thought in your mind and believe in it. And the way it materializes depends on how much you believe in it. In fact, everything that happens is the result of you thinking of something, creating some thought in your mind, and then you either believe in it or not.
Okay, the first thing is faith, the second is association. Tell me again about the idea you told me the other day. And maybe you have come up with some new ones?
Yes, I'm gonna tell you.
An association about me. That is, Kabilame has his hand gestures, Bella Porch has her smiling expression.
Yes, all super popular people have their own strong association. So it's that person who is who. It's very important to make it easier to identify you and understand that that's you. I came up with an idea for Ser Yoga. You may have seen it on TikTok. The paparazzi theme is highly developed in America. It's related to that. Perhaps it's developed in other places too, but I want to explain the mechanics. When, I don't know, someone famous comes out of the restaurant, and there's a bunch of photographers asking questions and so on. It's always staged. Most of the time it's done on purpose. So they go to the restaurant, they call and say, look, send the paparazzi there, and a bunch of people come there and they walk past them like that. And it's all being filmed and posted from the side, and people think, holy moly, what a big crowd is following them. In other words, they deliberately create this perception that they are incredibly popular and so on. They are genuinely popular, some of them are, but this way you can create and influence opinion, steadily maintain it at a certain level and so on. They do this all the time with people of all kinds, especially in the media field. What did I come up with for Ser Yoga? He has such a provocative image. I told him, listen, it's absolutely real. They use it just to create hype. They shoot videos like these, like they're coming out of somewhere, they're being filmed, coming out like this. These videos are then uploaded on TikTok, they go viral, and they constantly remind people of them. I said, and what if we are going to just take this concept? It will be absolutely unique. That is, you get out of the G-Wagon, 10 photographers come up, take pictures of you, ask you something, what's up, and so on, and take pictures. And that's it. That's the kind of videos you just upload. And I'm almost certain they will go viral with proper faith on your part. And you just change the car, come out from somewhere again in a new location, from another restaurant, and so on. Just by following this one concept, people will think probably that you're super famous. Questions arise immediately. Who is he anyway? They'll start Googling. There are so many things which come out of that one idea.
So look, the idea is to upload it as it's being filmed from the side. So that someone filmed from the side, be it from my team or the paparazzi or from...
From the side, they film you coming out and how a bunch of people take pictures of you.
Oh, now I get it.
They film normally from the side, no sneaky stuff. They film you coming out and a bunch of people standing around taking pictures, and you suddenly go somewhere else, say, a 10-second clip. That's it, you post it, you choose the right music, and it's a bombshell.
And essentially you have to take 10 dudes around the world with you to do that, or hire them.
You don't have to take them with you. Just need 10 people with cameras at the location just to be there. Here's a very important point. If you have an idea in your mind and you, let's say, ask someone and that person tells you something, don't let anyone extinguish your idea under no circumstances. If I come up with an idea, I shoot it, post it on TikTok, and then people decide for themselves. Can you imagine how many people out there can decide whether your idea fits or not? And here's one person saying something. It makes absolutely no difference what he says, whoever he might be. Absolutely, whoever that person is, whatever he tells you, whether he likes the idea or not, no, it doesn't matter. If you have an idea, work on it. It's important to implement and upload it. And then you'll see how effective that idea of yours is. It's very important. I mean, nobody, even Cristiano Ronaldo and so on, if you tell me I don't care, it makes absolutely no difference. It's another person, a completely different person. They can be mistaken. We're all human beings. And it's only your fault if you believe what someone tells you. So you have to film and believe that you came up with a cool idea and it's about to be a success. Shoot it, upload it, and let it go viral.
Yeah, true. That's genius. Write in the comments, what do you think of this idea? Write in the comments. I really want to know. Yeah, by the way, subscribe to the podcast. I think this podcast is great. Subscribe, like, comment, and all that stuff.
Share this video with someone.
Click on the notification bell.
By the way, yes, send it to someone.
Yes, show it your friends too. But right now, look here.
You decided not to wait until the end.
Yeah, so they don't skip until the end. Look, here's what it looks like. You can show yours. Here, they're really cool. Look, there are different stars.
You sure?
Yes, I am.
Are you sure? Whoa, yes, well, the stars.
It is the same. So Anna and you, one of the viewers, will have this same bracelet. You're gonna be like brothers, I guess. It's really cool. Anyway, that's the bracelet. What do you need to do? Let's give it a like.
Let me put it on so that they could see it till the end of the video and it would trigger them.
Do you mind if I wear your bracelet until the end too?
Let's make them think of it.
Yes, until the end of the video it will be sort of charged with my other bracelets. For some reason I came to like it lately. Anyway, let's do it again. Look, this bracelet goes to whoever does the following. Subscribe to the channel, like, comment below, and just tag me in stories. And within a few days I'll choose the stories. Well, it would just be a snippet of the video. The energy of 20 million subscribers. Alright, anyway, don't get mad. I'll have your bracelet for half an hour. Anyway, I'm the same way when you don't do something for a long time. So you, for example, you think of something, you're like, wow, that's awesome. I usually immediately start shooting. But sometimes I'm like, man, that's kind of cool, but I have to think about it. In short, the longer you think about it, the more you have this kind of thing in your head. First of all, it feels like you've already done it.
Don't torture yourself. It's simple. You come up with something, then don't torture yourself. Just think of an idea, implement it, upload it, see the result. If it works out, great, do it again. Do the same as long as it has results. If it doesn't, you need to try another way. You just need to understand one thing. It's impossible for it not to work out if you don't stop. That is, if you go somewhere, wherever you go, you will definitely get there, 100%. You have absolutely every chance of getting there if you're alive and if you don't stop. So the most important thing is not to stop. If I had stopped then, I would have never seen this day. And I think life would have been completely different. It's precisely because I was moving forward that I saw something different. And everything happens in cycles. I mean, everything changes. So don't torture yourself. Don't speculate about whether it will work out or not. Got an idea? Do it. Look at the result. If you are not satisfied, do it differently. The most important thing is to try a different way. Because if you repeat and do the same thing, you will make mistakes. You just need to find the key that will open the door, but it can surely be opened one way or another. Change, change, change. Be patient in doing so. Change, be patient in doing so.
Okay, so that means faith, then a strong association, and with that strong association. And there is, some kind of a technique, like you have to upload 10 videos a day, or...
What kind of sound or music is used is very important. There are trending sounds, you can easily see them, you just look at when the sound was posted. And the fresher the sound is, and you see in what videos people are actively using it, and it becomes popular very fast. Let's say it gets used in 1,000 videos, then it's 2, 3. So this sound is becoming very popular. And using a trending sound is the easiest way to gain popularity. You just need to find these trending sounds, browse the recommendations, pick and choose between those sounds. And by the way, more than that, you can also... It's completely my idea, very cool and super simple. I'm thinking about how I should develop this or that country, let's say. And you just open, let's say, Spotify or I don't know, Apple Music. There are charts by country. Brazil, Australia, any country that is there. I open, let's say, a top chart. I open, let's say, Brazil, and I check the top 3 songs. For example, if I'm in Dubai right now, if I browse TikTok here, I'll either get here super popular global sounds or local ones. But I won't see what's popular in Brazil. But that doesn't mean that there are no super popular tracks. There are very popular songs and super popular TikTok sounds, I just don't see them. And so I just open Apple Music, find the top 3 popular songs in Brazil right now. I find these songs in TikTok by name and see that they are extremely popular, let's say. That's it. And that's how you can promote yourself in a certain country. Depending what sound you use, you can get into the territory you want.
Does it depend on the SIM card? That is, for example, if I take a SIM card in Dubai and I upload.
I think it doesn't matter because I've posted on TikTok in Russia with a Russian SIM card and ended up anywhere but Russia.
So it was just because of the sounds, the fact that the sounds were for different countries.
Of the sounds, or maybe it just happened somehow, but the sounds too.
That's cool. Where's your main audience from?
That's the thing. My analytics only show 26% out of 100. That is 765544.
So it's like 3% from each country, roughly speaking.
Yes, about 100 countries. I mean, I checked, there are a lot of countries.
That is super cool.
Therefore, I wouldn't say my audience is from a specific country.
I see, but you still need to upload some amount of videos initially. Well, everyone tells me that I need to upload from 3 to 10 TikToks per day. Because if you upload fewer, then...
I can't say that because I was posting 3 or 4 times a week.
Yes, one at a time?
3 or 4 times a week and I gained this whole audience. I mean, I didn't have that many TikToks. I mean, I didn't post that actively. I'm very active right now, though. I'm just testing a lot right now, and I was also able to change the format. You see, I had a particular format with money. It worked very well. And I moved to the Emirates. You can't use money in your videos here. And I had to change the format, and that's not easy at all. People don't know this, but every account has tags. An account is tagged, the employees inside TikTok know this. It means that each account has its own format, and it develops really well within that format. If you start shooting in a different format, it doesn't work. And it will work for someone else, let's say, if it's his format. So you have to stick to your own format, shall we say, on TikTok. And then I was able to change the format so that the video still performed well and gained views. So it was quite challenging for me to switch the format.
That's cool. How did you find out about this internal thing in TikTok?
Said I have some people I know who work there and so on. We had situations where, for example, we couldn't boost an account no matter what. I used to be a producer for a guy and his account couldn't gain traction even though we made such great videos. And then we found out that the account is lacking a tag. So if you have a bunch of different formats, they are removed and the account has no tag. And the person concerned may not even know it. And there's no way they can boost that account. It's easier to create a new account and work on it. That's what happened when I found out about it. We just created a new account and posted the same videos there and it took off.
Is there anything you can do about it? Or is it just that if we create a new account now, it probably already has some tag assigned to it, right?
No, the tag is assigned after you post a certain amount of videos.
Like it understands that...
Just manage it properly, don't upload all sorts of things or nonsense or very different things and everything will be fine.
Don't upload all sorts of things, got it?
If it looks good, if it's high quality, has a cool idea and so on, then everything is fine. But if there is just...
Now we're shooting purely... I mean, what exactly do I like? I really like movies in general, cinematography, so I like the cinematic look and shooting process. Mostly, long story short, I like to remake all kinds of videos from TV shows and movies. When it comes to my favorite video, it's DiCaprio. I need to do it as soon as I can. There is, you've watched Gatsby?
Gatsby, yes I have.
There's a scene where Tobey Maguire stands next to Leonardo DiCaprio near a massive mansion and tells him, I've got all these things for her, and she just wants to run away.
You've started learning already?
No, my English is alright. And Toby tells him, Jay, you can't repeat the past. Can't repeat the past? No. Of course you can. Of course you can.
Yeah, that's cool.
And well, I really enjoy doing these kinds of things. But I've never filmed that. But now we're shooting all sorts of relationship-related stuff. It's kind of cool. Like, yeah, it's cool.
You'll spend a lot of time on that, I think. But I can be totally wrong. It's just a little bit different. If there will be some stronger theme or an association, it will probably be easier, I think.
Because it's a very, very popular theme that everyone makes videos about.
Popular videos, yes.
That's right.
You could be unique and it would actually be a lot easier for you.
For sure.
It'll be easier for you to do that and so on. For example, it's much harder for me to redo something than... I mean, you came up with something of your own. Just came up with some eyes for you, for example, popped your eyes out. And it works for you no matter what you do, so to speak. Or this hand gesture. And it somehow gets a lot easier for you, actually. And it's easier for you to come up with all these things. It's like it's super yours. I mean, it somehow starts to work really well. You quickly see these ideas, these things, you really like it. It comes from you. But these kinds of things are great practice. I mean, you can get really good at shooting. I basically spent 8 months shooting that. And thanks to those things, I got great training. And I was constantly looking for my own idea, constantly looking and looking. If you don't have an idea, of course you should do it. Because while I was looking for an idea, I was trying to make the same video again and again. I tried everything, the most diverse, expensive, and cheap ideas, and implemented those different ideas in different ways. And then at some point I found it. So the main thing is not to stop looking for an idea. You'll find it anyway, and it will definitely be a bombshell. You just have to keep going. The only thing you have to do is not stopping.
And how do you know it's time to change your approach, for example?
If you keep repeating the same thing for a long time and it doesn't get you results, try another approach. Well, a very long time, let's say a week or 2. Well, if you've tried something 5 times in one format and it doesn't work, try a different format 5 times. But you'll see, you'll even start to feel at some point what works better and so on.
I mean, for example, there are now videos that have reached 1.5 million, but almost a month has passed. There are 9,000 subscribers. It's sort of not enough. I mean, you see, it's not clear how to measure what's normal and what's not.
And what was the goal?
It's clearly not...
You had a goal?
Well, I kind of have a goal of 10 million.
And for that month?
What was the goal? Well, we were like, well, let's just try it and see.
And your goal is 10 million?
Yes, 10.
That's great. We need to start from there. And within what time?
Well, look, I have 1 million by the end of the year and 10 million for the next year.
Great. You need to sit down. I just think it's going to be a challenge to find an account that has remade other ideas and reached 10 million. And that will give you the following answer. This will give you the answer that you are doing what is easier but taking up your time. You need to see it and redirect that time towards sitting down and thinking, what can we shoot? What concept can we develop? It really is like that. You come up with one action, find something, and you can just repeat it afterwards. It will bring you a lot of good things. In other words, if you redirect that time to coming up with a strong association and then to shooting it, and if it's a success, just find it. It will be a stream. It will bring results. So in the long run, you will still overtake yourselves. That's why if you have a goal of 10 million and you made 9 in a month, try next month, let's say, to do things the way I suggest. Then try something different again. Try something different next month.
So there is no such idea that this is just the beginning. Does it need to gain momentum or not? Or does TikTok work differently, or if your content is good, it shoots up right away?
Yeah, you've seen people creating a new TikTok account, making a video and getting a ton of views right away. Lots of cases like that. That is, it's even easier to shoot up and develop something at the beginning, I think. It's the idea that matters. The most important is the idea.
Tell about your plans. Right now you have 18 million.
Yes, I'll tell you.
What's next?
I've got plans laid out for 5 years ahead. It's who I will be in the next 5 years.
Yes, is that what you sent me?
Yeah, what I sent you. Tell me, you've read it?
Yes, I have.
What do you think?
It's awesome.
There are different aspects to this, and they all lead to one thing. That is, I do all this mainly to pass on my knowledge to hundreds of millions of people. That is, I will still develop my mindfulness and so on along the way. That is, everything somehow happens the way it's supposed to happen. I learn to think with my heart. Intuition and the heart are given to people to learn how to make decisions. The mind always confuses a person, absolutely always. It will complicate things and confuse you. It will produce a huge number of options to them. And I'm learning to think with my heart. To think with your heart is to step into the unknown. So you don't know what's going to happen next, you just trust and do as you feel. Because you always feel everything. Do you want to communicate with this person or not? Do you want to do it or not? Do you want to eat it or not? That is, you feel absolutely everything, but your logic confuses you. And when you follow the path your heart leads you, you'll see that it's so beautiful whatever your mind is telling you. I just listen, so to speak, to what comes out from within me and so on. And I just live, not even knowing what will happen, whom I'll meet, what's going to happen. I mean, I just absolutely trust what's going on. That is, I have already realized that even the path I have taken, I just had to go through these exact aspects. To understand that when you are like this, life is like this, you are like that, life is like that. That is, I had to go through it all in exactly that form that I lived it through. Had to be in that hospital and had to suffer somewhere and had to be in debt and so on. And I had to go through it all, deal with it, so that maybe then I could help others go through it and deal with it. Maybe that's what I'm here for example. And it's a very beautiful path. I look back on it all and it's very beautiful. I mean, it's cool. It seemed like it was going to take forever. But no, it came to an end. And a new life began. So my plans for the next 5 years include reaching an audience of 500 million on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter.
Look, you know what? I just feel that people who are watching now are thinking, because that's what I thought too. Remember, we talked 2 days ago and you said about things that look like you feel and understand them. That is, you have lived through something, did meditation, immersed yourself in all that.
Mind you, I don't consider myself to be conscious.
But look, still what you do is in that direction.
I'm trying.
But that said, the kind of content you make, I think according to people, your content is kind of, I don't know.
Can't be related to me at all.
Just roughly speaking, what did you say last time?
Oh yes.
That one, idiotic videos.
No problem at all, but what difference does it make even if that can happen consciously? That is, whatever a person does, good or bad as you think, either this or that, it doesn't matter. It's no problem, in short, it's no problem if it happens consciously. There is a problem when it all happens unconsciously. That is, in the sense I understand why I do it. I use this as a tool for attraction. That is, I will influence people through all levels of perception. This audience of 500 million people, I'm going to make a movie. And I will make one of the most popular movies in the world. And you will see it in the next 5 years. I will make a music album that will also become one of the most popular in the world. And I'm not super talented at singing, I'll do it the math alone and my faith. I will write books. I try to gather this audience through different levels of perception just to convey knowledge. Because if I start conveying knowledge right away, it doesn't work. Sadhguru is trying to do just that. He's super popular, but I am different. Let's just say somehow it works in a really cool way. He's probably the most popular in the spiritual world. But let's say I found another way, it came to me naturally, and I'm on that path. That is, through what people want to watch, I understand what they psychologically want to watch. What they fall for, so to speak. I give them what they want. I give them what they're falling for in this period of time, using it as a tool to reach a bigger audience. And then there will be other stages when I will be able to convey my thoughts to them. If I started right away, who are you? Why listen to you? And so, I don't know, I'll get to 500 million, maybe they'll start listening a little bit, I don't know. Maybe a little more people will at least start listening. And plus, at that point, there will probably be a lot of things done already. Because I want to do a lot of things in general for people, I want to create sanctuaries. I want to dedicate my life to just making things better. Once I sat there and thought about what I should do with my life, I think, man, everyone dreamed of being a superhero as a kid, so I'm trying. If they ask me who inspires you, I am inspired only by myself in the future. That is, ANAR DREAMS in the future inspires me very much. And I think about how I want to live this life. I think about, man, I have to live it anyway, but I can't just simply exist. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, this is my next phase. After I've done all this, the next phase will be the hardest for me. It's to give it all up. I'm going to give it all up completely, and maybe for at least a year or so I'll go away just to sit, and I want to know and learn it.
You're not going to jail?
No, not to jail. I'll just sit down somewhere and we'll sit there. In some beautiful nature. I'll just give up all material things and we'll just travel around the world.
But why can't you do it now, for example?
The phase is different because this particular phase has been going on for about 10 years for me. It's an unfinished story inside me. I want to finish it and then move on.
A phase of, to put it this way, achieving goals?
On the one hand, achieving goals, and on the other hand, in short, this phase is necessary so that I can do the things that will come next. Let me tell you about the album. It's a cool topic. I came up with the music album Earth or Space.
Earth or Space, Earth or Space.
I was making music and I was thinking, man, I probably need about 15 years to become some kind of popular musician. And then I realized that if a person decides to do the cleaning in an hour, he'll do it in an hour. If he decides to do it in half an hour, he'll do it in half an hour. Not that I'm comparing it to cleaning. But the bottom line is roughly such that if you set yourself a time for doing something, you will do it within that time. So I was like, how can I do it in 2 years? Let's say 2 years or 3 years. What's the fastest way I do it? I remember that I focused on just one thought the whole day. How do I make the most popular music album in the world? And the answer to that question came to me. I accumulated my audience through the popularity of the dollar. And then I realized that planet Earth has the popularity of planet Earth. There is an example. Imagine the Pyramid of Cheops. I'm standing in front of it, writing down a line from a song. Petra in Jordan, Machu Picchu, the Chinese Wall, Hollywood. The first person in the history of mankind who recorded his musical album in the most popular places on the planet. I'll just go all over the world. I'll be on this tour for about a year just to record the album. And at some point I will make a statement that I will record the last song from this album in space. That is, the first person in the history of mankind to record a track in space. There already are tourist flights by Virgin Galactic and Blue Origin. So it's not some kind of know-how, they are really flying already. I'll simply fly as well and record tracks. It's even affordable now. It costs $200,000-$300,000 per person, as I understand it, the flight. And by the way, a very important point, you may think it costs some big money or you can't get it. Don't ever think about it. That is, I got this idea, first came everything that I had envisaged. Sitting in my room, I planned it in Moscow. And then what I had envisaged for myself, it began to materialize. Some events happened, I was forced to move to Dubai, then somehow everything worked out here. And then it all starts to materialize because everything is already there. I don't have to make $10 million myself to realize all this. I already have them. There are people and companies that want to be associated with it, a lot of them. Everything is already there, just connect it all. And believe that it will come about no matter how much you need, no matter what you want, no matter what you need. You will have everything, the right people will appear, any amount of money, absolutely everything. Just really understand what you want. The two main triggers are the first person in the history of mankind who recorded his album line by line in the most popular places on the planet. And the first person in human history to record a track in space. So I'm going to travel to every country and I'll do about 500 million views in each country. And everywhere in every country work on location with local media. That is, in this way a lot of people will get to know about it. And I believe that when I come back from space, the album, if only for 1 minute, must get on top of the charts because it's just math. I mean, I've done it once before. I won't say a word.
And then I go like, and today we were in the psychiatric clinic on ANAR Dreams.
ANAR Dreams #1. I'm just saying, so you'll see. And so I'm returning from space. Yeah, listen. Most importantly, I'll have a chance to laugh as well. It's kind of hot topic for me. I love situations like that. When I had situations like that, I had a lot of debt and people thought that's it, he's dead. Like, he won't make it, won't survive it. For me, doing something that is stuff of fiction suits me, it's my profile. I'm returning from space, and the album needs to get on top of the charts at least for a minute, for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes. Just with plain math due to the fact that so many people in the world know about this event. And they will, at least out of sheer interest, go in and take a look. Okay, what is it he wrote there? It must happen. And after that, it goes straight to the movie phase because the story is so fantastic. From where it started and where it ended.
And you want to start with the album when?
Next year. We're building a music studio now, by the way. Look, I'll show you. We're already doing the design now and the designer is just smashing. I couldn't even imagine that. He built studios for Martin Garrix and David Guetta. It's just top class. It's not a studio, it's outer space. I was once in Moscow at Alex Devia's studio. A lot of people know him and he has a really fantastic studio there. I was looking at it and thinking, man, I wish I had a studio like that. I had always dreamed of it and I got such a studio.
That's cool.
And the construction is starting soon. It's being designed. I want to write an album there, a music album. Plus, it's a great place for creative musicians and so on. If someone comes over, we can chill out there and write something and so on. I love the studio. I had a studio in Moscow. I lived in the Filigrad residential complex, rented 7 apartments there, and there was a studio as well. So you just go down to the parking lot, cross it, and go up to the studio, or go up to your office. It was super convenient, and it's also very cool that I'll now have a studio here too. I'll be able to make music that the whole world will hear.
The album, then the movie.
Yes, then the movie. By the way, I'll also involve TikTok there, the challenges. You make that music, then you just have to get the challenge right, like we did with Not the Crown, bro. That is, we launched more than one challenge. I just have to run a challenge to the world, I'll figure it all out. And then to implement the same with music when it's all done with the movie, and then the movie phase. I'm sure there are lots of top directors in the world who would almost line up to make a movie based on the true events of this story. Because the story is going to be very interesting. And plus it will be very profitable because the coverage around the world will be huge. That is, a lot of people will know about it. It's a sin not to make a movie and show it everywhere because at any rate people are also curious. That's how they are. They'll go to watch it. And so I'm sure it will work out so well that it will become super popular as well. And by the way, I also came up with that idea. If anyone can help me with it, I want to literally sew my character. This is, by the way, the main thing that's going to give me a super boost. By the way, I easily share my ideas because I understand that implementation is what truly matters. I truly believe in them. That is, I understand that I can implement them, at least I believe so I'm not greedy. I wanted to do it earlier. I have to tell you about this marketing idea I had. I came up with an idea. It's completely crazy. It's a character that reaches all those 500 million. I want to create my character on a scale of 1 to 1. You've seen life-size puppets? A life-size puppet, let's say a bear or someone else. An ordinary life-size puppet. I want to make a life-size puppet of myself. And so that anyone can essentially put me on and make a TikTok video. What do I want to do? I want to make, say, 5 of these puppets and shoot TikToks with them. That is, I want to bring popularity to my character who looks exactly like me. I will keep creating content with him until he becomes very popular. The goal is that here I am sitting with you, chatting, and there I have a team with my character shooting TikToks and posting to my TikTok. And it works just as if it were me. And then I do it 100 times all over the world. That is, I send a team to Brazil, to Argentina, I send my character all over the world with my team. And here I am talking to you, and within a unit of time, one person can make a unit of content. I will be able to produce 100 units of content. That is, I will produce more content than anyone else in this world. Even I, when I sit here listening to you. I'm just used to all sorts of things. I myself really like to dream, visualize, make big plans. Even I, sitting here, I'm thinking, well, he's completely nuts. While I'm talking to you, I have my character giving a concert in 6 countries at the same time, let's say, and so on. And that's how I'm going to produce a lot of content. And then, that is, I will do it for each company individually. Let's say Nusret goes down, the brand goes down a little bit, that could most likely happen. Well, for example, someday it will happen. And my point is that this character, his essence, will act for a very long time yet.
You've seen Black Mirror, right? There was an episode in Black Mirror, exactly a character. The main character is a girl who is a super popular singer. And her own producer starts to, in short, she has some conflicts. Her producer realizes that it's becoming difficult to work with her and that she might leave. So they poison her or something. She's in a coma there. And they come up with an idea to connect to her brain, and her brain generates songs. That is, she kind of lies there, but her brain. And there will a laser character on stage, like a hologram. The hologram will sing, and you kind of have to be happy because she's lying there. Those are her words. And this hologram will perform all over the world. The life of media people comes down essentially to the creation of content and sort of the productivity of it. That is, in the beginning, as if with a large number of attempts you understand and enhance your superpower in order to understand in what specific way to enhance it further. Then with the help of you getting to that point, you start focusing on that point and your popularity grows tremendously. And at that point, at some point there, you have to stay alive. Because you realize that your popularity and your money and everything, just everything, are related to how much content you produce. And so when you're, for example, on a label, roughly speaking, you are signed to a label, at that point they just start pushing you because they've kind of rented you.
It's a personal choice.
Yes, it's a personal choice. On the one hand, of course, without a label, I think labels have cool advantages because few people can manage without them in the beginning. They provide resources, as if give you directions and so on. But then, of course, it's not that great. What's your attitude to the label?
For me, it just exists. I don't separate things. For me, everything simply exists. Someone needs it. For me, everything is very simple. I mean, whatever it might be, whatever happens, there are different things in the world and someone needs it. I just choose what suits for me. For me, everything is super simple.
Listen, in general, these words are just perfect. I choose.
What suits me?
What suits me? Everything is just there. This is, by the way, regarding hate, for example. People often write in the comments like bullshit. Or, for example, someone saw a video of you with money and they were like, what a fool, or something like that. Or vice versa, he's awesome, but in fact it doesn't change anything. So it's just empty. It's just yours, it's your opinion.
Moreover, it greatly influences what happens in their lives. A very important point. When I realized that I eradicated any feeling of anger, resentment, and so on inside of me, it was all just erased. Because it only hurts that one person it comes from. When I see a person who, let's say, behaves negatively in some way, I understand that it's a tragedy. If you see a person who's somehow negative or somehow acting in a way that's not really good, let's just say it's a tragedy. And you have to realize that if that person was more conscious, they wouldn't be doing this. That is, such people should either get help to be conscious or leave them alone, but don't react back in the same way. Otherwise, you just start increasing the negative effect. Simply realize that if you see other people behaving in any way that isn't good, that is a tragedy. Precisely a tragedy. Because if that person was more conscious, I mean it's a tragedy for them. They are not conscious enough to understand what they are doing. They don't understand what they're doing. They don't realize it. And if you see people like that, either help them reach your level of consciousness or just move on if you can't help. But don't start a conflict. I mean, don't react the same way and make it worse. You just won't get anything out of it.
Yes, it's pointless to prove anything to a person. It's pointless to prove anything at all.
Thank you very much.
That's tops, guys. Likes and comments.
Thank you very much.
Yes, do subscribe to Anna. Yeah, right, man. You have so many subscribers. Why subscribe to you? Just subscribe to me and ANAR DREAMS on TikTok. That's it. Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Super cool. But you owe me money.
Yes, I'll tell you now, by the way. Among other one of those.
It's over. We finished filming.
One of those owed me money.
He was...
Yes, he owed. And one of those who was in those $200,000 was Seryoga.
I didn't know that.
By the way, you check that info later.
No, I didn't.
Check it if you can.
I think I remember someone saying something like that.
So there were 2 giveaways. I had 2 giveaways. That was about 2 years ago and couldn't pay them out. I promised to pay them out and failed to. And about 6 months ago, through one of my managers, some girl, I can find and show her and so on.
It's probably Nastya.
So I sent her $2,500, a little more than I had to.
Good boy, but we have long forgotten. By the way, why you did that?
Because it's super important to me, I did it for myself. That is, for my own self, so that it's no longer in my head. It's very important to me that it's as clean as possible there. Everything must be clean there.
Yeah, I had the same thing, by the way, yes. But the truth is, man, I sort of forgot about that at the time. And then someone called me about sweaters or hats that I think we had. Anyway, at one point we had no money at all. And when we had sweaters with reindeers and that whole story, well, there was just a cash gap. And a girl who worked in retail chains for a very long time came to me and said, well, that's just the way it generally is. I said, what do you mean? She said, well, it's okay not to pay someone. I said, what? How can that be? She said, well, look, they did make some mistakes. They didn't do this or that. We lost money because of it. So let's not pay to these guys certain money. And basically, we went bankrupt. I mean, really, business in Russia was like, it was 2016 or 2017. The business in Russia was so that me personally, 3 clothing chains just screwed me big time. Meaning they just didn't pay. So they took the goods, then they sold it. And then they said, sorry, we're closing the legal entity because we're in trouble. The store didn't move. They just opened a new legal entity, and it was the same store with the same goods. And sometimes with your goods that you supplied to them, the store continued to operate. It only had a different legal entity. And the legal entity that you supplied to that owed you, it closed down, but they kept working. And it was like there was nothing you could do. And that is, if you went there, they'd say, this is a completely different legal entity, sorry. And that was the rule with these chain guys. And at some point, in short, we kind of worked for a long time, and we did the same thing. And then these guys texted me 3 years later, Seryoga, they found me on WhatsApp, hi there, we supplied to you some hats. And I was already living in Dubai. I said, what hats? hats, $12,000 or something, $12,000 or $14,000 you owe us. From the time back then, I texted Stas, my assistant, and asked, is this really true? He said yes.
There were a couple of hats.
Yes, a couple of hats. And he had a hat on at that moment. I've been wearing it for 4 years now. No, in short, he said, yes, it's true. And I just sent them money right away. I said, do you have USDT or something? So we sent them money. And they didn't even say thank you, by the way. But still, I had the same idea too, that I just didn't want to be in debt to anyone. Because I just didn't even know about it. It's from my previous life. So you're awesome. Paid out 200,000. That's cool. All right, that's it. Thanks.
Thank you for having me.
Now it's really the end.